Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we still have Joe with us calling in from Wichita, Kansas. Is that right, Joe? You had one more question?
Yes, I wanted to ask you something. Goes along with the minerals and why I believe in what you got going on. My son, when he was born, he was 2 months old. He started to have like a rash around all the openings of his body, around his eyes, his nose, his whole rear skin would peel.
Yeah.
And they thought it was like, we went to the doctor, they sent us to the dermatologist, and they thought it was eczema, and started treating him for eczema and cirrhosis.
Yeah.
And they said that we kept going on for a couple of months, and we had to take steroids for him to get better. And it was really severe around all the openings, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it a lot.
So anyway, the dermatologist calls in another doctor from India. The Indian doctor comes in, and he says, I want you to take his blood, you know, right now. They call my wife back at home and said, you have to come back in, you know, immediately. She had to get a prescription for zinc. And his zinc level was at 10. And then the body, I guess, is supposed to be 75 to...
That's correct.
140 or so.
That's right.
And they were really worried about it, and they really didn't treat my wife very nice. You know, they kind of kept pushing her off. And we went through this for 2 months, trying to find something work. We were giving him baths and tar. They had us doing all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And anyway, nothing was working, only the steroids. And so at this point, we went to the pharmacy, which we didn't know at the time. We had to go to a compound pharmacy to have that zinc made in its finest form, you know?
Yeah.
And he was taking like 30 milligrams of zinc, and within 3 days, his skin was healing up. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And you had to figure all that out on your own, right?
Yep. Well, pretty much. Actually, the doctor from India saved my son's life. He said that the doctors here aren't familiar with it. They said in the 80s women didn't do the prenatal care that they do now in the United States. But he knew it because he sees a lot more overseas. But the trick was my son was like 100% weight and height, which whatever they measure that by, and they didn't see it in him. But the Indian doctor, they said that what happens if his body ran out of zinc?
Well, if his body ran out of zinc, he'd die. Zinc is an essential nutrient. Yeah.
That's what they said. They said his hearing, his vision, his hair had already, he looked like an old man. You know what I mean? He was going bald.
Yeah.
And it took about a year before.
What's his hair look like now? Is his hair unusually white, or does he have streaks of gray in his hair?
No, he don't have any gray or anything. His hair finally started to grow normal, but we were giving him, you know, every day 30 milligrams of zinc.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Yeah.
And he started to come back, you know.
Yeah. This is a great story because, number one, it underlines the fact that MDs in the United States have no training, no clinical experience, no appreciation for medical nutrition, right? And if you just don't know what you don't know. And so they're going to be they would have treated this kid forever with steroids, and he would have died, for goodness sake. And so here comes the Indian doctor who has a clue about nutrition, and bingo, there it is. But there's one more thing you need to understand, Joe. Nobody is ever just deficient in one nutrient. Nutrients run in packs. And the reason that people are deficient in nutrients is because, especially in things like zinc and calcium and copper and selenium, because those are minerals. Zinc is a mineral like calcium. And there's only one place that we can get minerals from, and that's the soil. So if the soil that the spinach or the corn or the wheat is growing in doesn't have any zinc or calcium or copper or whatever, well, guess what? There's not going to be any in the food. And this is the root cause of multiple nutrient deficiencies is unbelievably poor soil quality. So if your child was extremely deficient in zinc, 5 will get you 10 that he's extremely deficient in a number of other minerals as well. But rather than doing thousands of dollars of expensive laboratory tests in order to dial in exactly what his nutrient deficiencies are, what do? We give the body everything that it needs all of the time. Dial that in for your son, and watch him improve even more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It's another week is over. Where does the time go?